or for any other election that may be
That's
going on,
great.
especially the presidential election. And you can make sure your voice is heard, right? So if you want more information on that, go to marchfordimes.org. Sign up to be an advocate, learn more about what we're doing. You know, there's some important policies that really have to be addressed, like we should not be dropping women from Medicaid 60 days after having the baby, especially when Medicaid covers over 40% of all births in this country, especially women of color and low-income women. We have to make sure Medicaid is available for women if they have complications with their pregnancy and need to be seen by a doctor
But they still need
after
to
the
have
pregnancy.
Medicaid, because after you have your
Absolutely.
baby, mentally, I suffer from
Yes,
postpartum depression, and
absolutely.
you need all of the vitamins, you need everything that you can get your
Right,
hands on.
right.
You need health care and mental health care, physical health.
Mental
You need
health,
all of
physical
that.
health. Yes.
So that
And
is
if you need to go to see a doctor, you shouldn't be worried about whether or not you have insurance to cover it.
right.
So you
Hmm.
need to, but right now we have policies that don't allow for women to have access to that kind of care. And that's just simply wrong. And it's actually fueling the outcomes that we're seeing. So we need strong advocates. Marchfordimes.org, sign up to be an advocate. That's really important. The other thing is sharing your story. Now, it does take a lot of courage, and you've got a lot of courage to share your story about loss, about the fibroids. But you know what? When you share your story, Porsha, I know I can just imagine that it empowers you to be able to come from behind, the curtains of, being alone and feeling alone, to be able to share your story. Not only does it, I'm sure, help you, but it absolutely helps other women, because now other women say, "Oh my gosh, if it happened to her, if it happened to me, if it happened to her, it must be happening to
Yeah.
more of us," and it is. So the
And
more,
you know what? That if, I knew that before we had our March of Dimes luncheon with
yes,
the other ladies, but I felt it
you
once we
felt
had
it.
it. When Marlo talked
Yes,
about her
Marlo, yes,
loss,
yes,
her struggle, when
yes.
Tanya talked about
Tanya talked about
her
it. Yes,
journey, and
absolutely.
Nene, and Kenya and
Kenya talked about
Shania,
it.
and
Yes,
when these ladies who you normally are looking
yes,
for certain information from decide to open up their hearts and open that veil and let you in on their personal struggles as a
yes,
woman, which we all
yes,
are,
yes.
it really showed me how important. What is that part on your site? It's called Unspoken Stories.
Unspoken stories. So I was just going to
Yes,
mention that.
Unspoken
Yes,
Stories.
there's unspoken stories on our website. You can put in your story, you can do a video, you can tell your story, or you can just use the hashtag unspoken stories and
Right.
share it on social if you're willing to. A lot of women, and we understand this, right? It may be hard to relive that pain. And so we're not asking people to sort of re-traumatize yourself. What we're asking you to do is to be willing to share your story, because the more and more we get these stories out into the light, the more and more we'll be able to. I mean, it's not, and the more and more we became aware of what happened to George Floyd. The more and
Mm-hmm.
more we became aware of what happened to Breonna Taylor, the more light that's been shown on those situations, the more we have the ability to act and to
Right.
change those conditions so that it doesn't happen again. The more and more you tell your story, Porsha, or other women, the fact that almost every woman in that luncheon had a story to tell,
Every woman.
every single woman had
Mm-hmm.
a story to tell, tells us that we are not telling our stories enough. And no one should feel ashamed that a miscarriage happened. It is not your fault, right? It is no one's fault that these things happen. It is simply the fault of the system that's failing
Yeah.
us, and we have to empower ourselves to create a system that works for us. And that's really what our work is all about, the March of Dimes,
Yeah.
especially working with you, Porsha.
You just want to know that it's okay.
That's right.
Because not all journeys end with you giving birth to a child. So in some
Yes.
cases, that may not be your personal journey, and you need to know that that's okay as well. You need to be able to tell that story and be told that you are still every bit 100% a woman and
A hundred
strong,
percent.
in spite of you being able to carry on child, in spite of you going years before you're able to give birth, in spite of you having miscarriages. We
That's
need
right.
to be continuously feeding into each other, and we have to do that more now than ever, because we are
Now more
all
than
dealing
ever.
with this pandemic, and it's
That's
very
right.
psychologically damaging to a lot of people. And I'm sure mental health, a lot of people are suffering from mental health, depression, and all of that
Oh,
right now. And
we,
so, this is
especially with the
one of them.
pandemic, it's just been
Yeah, and
really
this
stressful.
this can
Yes.
be one of those. And so
Yes.
I just appreciate March of Dimes for covering the
Yeah.
whole spectrum, like all of it. And, you know, I just really appreciate you
Thank
taking the
you.
time to
You know
ask
what?
me to be on for, you know, this was really great for my
Well, thank
followers to
you
be
for
able to
asking
see.
me to be on your live, because this is really a conversation that we need to keep at. We should have already been having. We need to continue to have. And I'm going to tell you that this election is one of the most important elections that we have. I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, or whatever. Every single person running for office needs to stand up for maternal and infant health, and we need to demand that they take a position. So at the March of Dimes, we need everyone's help to make sure they sign up to be an advocate for this change. We have some amazing members of Congress, by the way, Porsha, who are leading on these causes. We have a Black Maternal Health Caucus, Congresswoman Alma Adams, Congresswoman Lauren Underwood, Congresswoman, I mean, there are many, many of them. We need to give them the support in Congress, but also at our state level with governors and state
Yes.
legislators and others that are running for office. Our mayors have been incredible. Keisha Lance Bottoms in Atlanta, Mayor
Yes.
Muriel Bowser here. I'm in DC, you're in Atlanta. You know, there have been some amazing leaders who've stepped up and have been supportive of these issues. We need to continue to push them to continue to advocate for our own health. But I know we're out of time. I know we've run over time probably,
We
but
can
this has
talk
been
all day. And we can talk all day. You know, I met you. It was like she's a kindred spirit. You and I, we joke together, we cry together,
absolutely.
we experienced a lot in such a short period of time. And that's the sisterhood that I enjoy with March of Dimes. So
I
again, thank
enjoy
you
it
so
too.
much.
Thank you
Everybody,
so
this
much.
was CEO of March of Dimes, Stacy Stewart. Thank you again so much. And hopefully we can do this
Porsha,
again
thank
soon.
you. And wear your
Okay.
mask. Wear your
Yeah,
mask.
yes. Or stay inside.
Everybody wear their mask, please.
Right, right. Okay, thank you. Have
All
a good
right.
one.
Take care. So good to see you. Good to
You
see
too.
everybody. Take care. Bye
Okay,
bye.
bye bye. Thank you guys for staying on the line. I know most of y'all click on my live to see me TikTok or something, but thank you for staying on the live, and I hope you got something from our conversation. Make sure you visit March of Dimes. I'm actually going to post a flyer from March of Dimes on my page so that you can get those websites that she was talking about, and that you can also look at the link on March of Dimes website to help you be an informed voter, because that's important as well. So I love you, and I will talk to you guys at another time.